Okay, according to my watch, it is 6 o'clock, so I think we're ready to begin. So again, this is a hybrid meeting held in person in person at Village Hall and online via Zoom of the library board. The link to the Zoom meeting is at the top of the agenda. So since it is officially 6 o'clock, I'm calling the meeting to order. We do have a quorum, and excuse me, the agenda was properly posted. So with that, this is the public's opportunity to speak. I am not seeing anyone online, nor here in person. So with that, we will move on to our next agenda item, which is meeting minutes.
I motion that we approve the minutes as is.
Second.
Motion by Megan, second by Lisa. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, moving on down to our agenda. We have no presentations to the library board, nor old business. So now we move on to new business. So the first item that was asked to be put on here is discuss updates to the library board FAQ. So, excuse me, if you all recall, I have it up here, so I will share. On the library board's website, we have an FAQ. If Zoom opens up. Sure. And we'll just do, there we go. And so this was last updated a bit ago, I'll just say. So I know a few of you have already reached out with some items that we know we need to update in there. So really kind of what we're looking for is direction. Is this something that the entire board wants to update, or small subsets? And or do we still need the FAQ? So really just looking for feedback on how do we want to approach this moving forward, especially since, okay, I'm not sure is it, oh, it did not shift because I am shared the wrong window. Again, I was going to pull up the website, so if I do this correctly. No, this is a user error on my part. Oh. Sorry, bear with me here. I promise you I had it all up, but of course it's not working as I intended when I got here. All right, let's do this. Share.
I can start the conversation if you want.
Sure, you can start it as I figure out the whole tech.
I think that we should keep the FAQ. I think it needs to be revised. I think we can pull some of those referendum questions that had been in the previous FAQ and make them to give people kind of historical knowledge of what happened in the last year. I think that the biggest question that we keep getting, and I get a phone call just about every week from a random citizen, which is very lovely. I love getting them. But they want to know how to get a library card, where the nearest libraries are. They want to know what to do with books and for like the little free libraries that exist. And then they want to know what's going on with the Friends land. And the Friends, I went to their meeting last night, they would like to be part of the FAQ. They'd like an explanation, and they can provide that on the land and what their intentions are. They would also like then how to get involved with the Friends, how to donate to the Friends, and then how to volunteer with them. So I think some of those, some of the data in some of those FAQs are a little outdated and they could be revised. We can reach out to Dane County and get some of that. I think it could, if we kind of frame it maybe most recent to past. So like we're talking like if you, as you scroll down, it'd be kind of a historical. So, and even bringing in, you know, there was an attempt in 2008, and you can even just bring in a little bit more of the history. We have a timeline that Tracy and I had created. We can maybe also revisit that as part of this, so it just kind of gives, it's just adding an extra bullet point on what's going on to date, and that has a pretty good history with it too. But I think, yeah.
Yeah. And again, to show you where it is on the website, it's on the library board site under documents and policies. It's the FAQ right down here. So the question is, do we still want it there, or maybe since this is a item that comes up a bit, maybe we bring it up a level or highlight it or something along those lines too.
You know, I don't know if there's a way to pull it over into the menu bar. I don't
if it
know
could
how
go, right, I don't know, if technically speaking, if you can do that, but if it could go all the way over as literally just another tab option underneath Little Free Libraries or something. Because I do think, going off of what Cindy said, there's so much information in this document and so much time and effort was put in here. And there's really a lot of, I mean, if you go through each question, there's really good, straightforward answers to a lot of things, like why can't we have a library in a storefront? Or what's the difference between, you know, why can't the town and the village have a library together? A lot of these different things that we hear from community members over and over again. And so I think it's really valuable to still have this available, not only as a reference point for us and for future board members, but just for the community. So if we can, again, like you said, either have the whole board look at it or ask a couple people to volunteer their time and go through and simply update a lot of them and maybe categorize or group kind of organize these questions into more, instead, I'm sure they were just put in here chronologically as they came in, but if there's a way to organize them in some fashion, that might be helpful for people.
I think it's probably not realistic to have this done for the next meeting, so I think this is gonna take a couple of months to pull together. So we can just have an update on the next agenda, and then, I would be in favor of bringing the whole thing back for discussion.
Okay, I was gonna say if you need someone to take like a first crack, I'm happy to kind of reorganize and use what I have to fill it out.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is small group to work on it, reorganize. Cindy's got a bunch of information that she can help pull from. We have some other stuff that we can pull from as well. So get a little small group going. And this will be a standing agenda item for the next few meetings to kind of give updates of where we stand on this and then move forward. Okay, sounds good. So if anyone else wants to be part of that group, let me know.
I'll just volunteer now. I would like to help too.
Maybe
Perfect.
to avoid quorum, you can hand out tasks to people and they can report back to you.
That works. Okay, thank you. The next, all right, any more discussion on this before I shift forward? Any more thoughts, ideas? Okay, so then the next thing we have on the agenda is discuss new programming at Glen Grove and March spring kickoff. Okay, so if you all recall, last meeting we gave an update how we had the kind of open house there where Monica and I, with a bunch of other village departments, were there at Glen Grove. Kind of, excuse me, connecting with residents, but then we've also met with their leadership in terms of trying to think through programming because they reached out to us, again, to kind of think through what they are looking for. And so one of the things that they mentioned at that time was they were going to send out a survey to their folks, and we do have the survey results, which I will pull up here for our quick review. So, big caveat I want to say off the top of the head, right on the top, you'll notice that only 14 people responded. So, the researcher in me says take this with a grain of salt.
I mean, there's 100 units at Glen Grove, so 14% is not, it's actually not terrible.
True.
But it's also people that will be attending events and coming to them, so it's meaningful data,
Absolutely.
says the researcher in me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. So as you can see here, kind of a wide variety of desired program topics were selected in there with homework, help, and STEAM, and kind of more intentional, kind of classes program-based being the most commonly requested items. Days and times. So Friday was the most requested for 11 out of the 14 folks requested that. And then time is mostly in the evening, so afternoons and evenings.
Remind me, the bookmobile comes there
At 3:30.
Wednesday, not Friday.
Wednesday,
That's Taylor Prairie. Gotcha.
and it's early too. It's like 3:30ish. It's after that.
I don't think it goes until closer to like 4:30 to like 5. It's the stop directly before Piggly Wiggly, but it's after the Dublin Park. So it does allow for schools to be dismissed prior to attending.
And then the last result was age groups for programs. So with adult being 9, tween, teen at 8, and elementary at 7 in there. So a good mix of age groups. And so the question for this group is, we know we need to do programming. It was requested of us. We're willing to do that. It's part of our service and being good community members here. The question then is what, how, when, and what other services do we want to pull in? So already Monica's working to get the Madison Big Read bus scheduled there.
Big Red Bus is tentatively scheduled for April 14th from 4 to 5 p.m. They do not travel on the roads until April. They're shut down for March. So this is like the earliest option that we can get them. And it's been reserved for several months.
I guess my concern with trying to fit anything else in is that there's a pretty full schedule until the end of May, and then we're gonna do that summer reading program, whatever that looks like, and I wonder if that's maybe information we can give them. I don't wanna go the whole year without meeting their request, but I think that it's impossible to do that minus the Big Red Bus visit. But to add something reoccurring in is gonna be pretty darn hard until maybe summer, but I don't know what that looks like for you. And maybe fall is just a better time to try again with.
It's just really tight in general. Again, 20 hours, one person. We do have a very full calendar providing on average 6 adult programs within the community as a whole, in addition to the youth and children's programs. I am not opposed to attempting to establish a once a month option. That is primarily what we've been doing for all the other programs, meeting those needs. Within our budget, time constraints, once a month I think is a valid attempt to move forward. In the summer months, getting the information to the residents at Glen Grove will be the most important component to that, just because a lot of the programming will be offered at North Lawn Park, which is just the location, it makes it much more accessible for them. So that will be a huge opportunity for them. If we want to start something, I would ask to not start until closer to April, just because March is super busy. So if we want, and I think that that gives us a little bit more time to kind of ramp up, because that's always been the hiccup, is the communication component within the residents. So if we can at least start to kind of facilitate that now to plan something, it's seeming that a Friday evening, kind of like a art kind of craft option is the most desired based on the feedback and information. I wouldn't go so far as to put any age restriction on it. It's just a community thing, and intentionally plan the program to be adaptable for all age groups. I think that that's how we kind of start, and then we can utilize the next few months as kind of feedback so that we can reassess as we had previously. Does that sound reasonable?
It sounds great if we can if you have the wiggle room to fit that in, that sounds great to me.
I think we can attempt to start.
Would you continue that in the summer?
Yes.
Okay.
Almost all of our summer programming is a continuation. So at the root of summer reading, everything is the exact same. We are not taking off anything for the summer. So everything is in continuation. We are simply adding special components or kind of adding an alternative, really highlighting the upper elementary age groups for summer programming to fit those needs, and bringing in some really cool guest speakers. So I will not be the one executing every program, which is going to enable some more flexibility with that. So that's how we are able to do more for the summer, because we are utilizing our finances to allow for that.
Do you think there's collaboration that could happen then, maybe between PD and library, to like best practices for walking to North Lawn to get there? Maybe that could be prior to the kickoff to summer reading program.
Yeah. Do you want it do you think a actual in-person presentation, or simply like a, or could we even do like a really quirky video?
Maybe a video, and then like actually take them there.
That's
for the
what I
summer
was-
Okay.
reading.
Yeah, could we do like a train to North Lawn or something?
Like
where,
for
everyone
part of our
rides
kickoff, because
together?
the Zoo to You is the first one, and it's usually hosted at North Lawn.
Yep.
So kind of a prior to, like a parade to North Lawn type thing. Okay.
And zoo to you might be not a zoo, but will be a something. We're trying to revamp it a little bit.
Okay.
But I think that would give a little bit educational component on how to respect neighbors and walk and get to the park, since, don't
I
cut
love
through
it.
people's yards, and then a chance to interact with PD and that kind of stuff. Have not run it past PD, but I think that's,
We do have our stuffy sleepover scheduled for March 11th, so we'll plant the seed.
Glen Grove had asked about like that March like kickoff kind of thing to programming. I think that here's what we're going to do. Here are the flyers. Email your residents, post them, stick them under the door, however you want to get the word out. But not like an event, right? Like this is just gonna.
I don't mind to make the Big Red Bus more of an event. That's already scheduled. That's a time that's already there. I genuinely cannot look at March and find time.
Got it. And if you want, I can bring the group back. There's an email string, and I can tell everyone what's going to happen.
Okay. I feel like we have a good direction in terms of what's next. And one thing as Cindy mentioned, but I really want to stress again, Monica, is you need to tell us what your capacity is, because we have a lot. And I really want to stress, we don't want to overextend you. So please, can continue to be vocal about that and let us know. If things need to adjust, then we will adjust them.
I think we're all kind of learning. So I've considered this year as that kind of interim year, evaluating every month. I'm happier with the schedule. I think, and I'm gathering feedback from the public that we're meeting those needs. As yes, you can say as much suggestions as you like, but everything takes a little bit of time. For the most part, I think everyone's been super patient. You all as a board have been as well, accommodating with that. So I'm happier each and every month, and I think that the position is becoming what our community desires most from that. So I appreciate you listening and understanding that it is 20 hours.
Yes.
Okay. Last chance for any further discussion. Hearing none, I'm going to shift it over to Monica for the programming report.
Sorry, I'm finishing my note real quick so I don't forget. We were able to last month start with our first lunch and learn. Excuse me. And that was great. If you haven't seen it, please double check the YouTube page for it. Excuse me, where we have our video uploaded. It was an awesome turnout. We had about 14 people attend. Several have continued to view it. Shannon Colin did a fantastic job. He's even told me today that he's going to share it with a few friends. He goes, they need to know that other things are going on in the community. I said, great, not even a bother that you're highlighting yourself. A total joke, like that was so not his MO. But I did tease him about it. And we are starting this month here in February. There has been a huge hiccup. I tried something new. Badger Talks has recently started a music ensemble performance option. It is a nightmare to schedule. It's a lot of moving components. Within the ensembles, you have multiple people, and you're trying to facilitate that exact schedule for it. I have been in talks with Miss Maya for well over a month trying to narrow this down for the ensemble. And unfortunately, she finally told me today that it is not going to happen. So as I panic and want to kind of curl into a ball and cry, I immediately just shifted to a pivot. I know that we've talked a lot about trying to link and connect with Colonial Club in Sun Prairie, as the village and the town have a financial agreement for some of the services. So as a result, I was able to reach out with them, explain the situation. They are thrilled to help, and they're going to give a presentation that evening. So in place of that, the upside is that we've saved a Badger Talk, so we got an extra Badger Talk. So I'm choosing to focus on the positive. We still are offering that adult opportunity of the evening. It's tentatively scheduled for 6. Trying to make sure that that time is still acceptable for Drumlin Reserve, as we're utilizing their community room, which is a fabulous space and we're super grateful for. So the event will be created, shared accordingly. I would ask, especially for the board members, to please share in excess to help garner. I will likely allow some funds for Facebook boosting of that post as well. Colonial Club agreed to be a co-host to help share on their end. So I think that that'll be a nice option. And that can hopefully be utilized throughout the summer for some of those summer reading programs too. So making that connection. And then story times continuing. I appreciate the help. We had a guest presenter for Tween Scene this past month. She knocked it out of the park. The kids supposedly had a great time. It was fun. We were able to tie in the Olympics with some trivia questions while also doing a taste testing of global food options, some of which felt really strongly for and against. So very strong opinions. But it was fun, kind of something different to do. And that group, that age group, is really kind of growing. It's becoming a core group, its own little community. So I think it's everything that any library is desiring for that age. With our story times as well, we had a guest storytime presenter. She did a fabulous job. I even had a grown-up tell me today at the CI storytime. She's like, it was really fun. And I said, I know, she's great. So super appreciative for the willingness to step in for that. We do have an Olympic storytime tomorrow, so that'll be fun. We're painting. I tried to warn all the parents. We also are bobsledding and skiing and maybe even skating. So if you want to see something funny, stop by tomorrow, 9:30. The adult programs are moving on. Stuffy Sleepover is our biggest one. No School Days are great. Getting ready to read again to Taylor Prairie School. We were able to go in last month. That was the first time we were able to read to every single 4K classroom at Taylor Prairie. Be able to give the calendar for the month, have conversations with the kids. It was so great to see faces of children that regularly already are attending programming, for them to have that familiarity, that personal relationship, that connection as well. So I cannot wait for this next month. And I've already selected my books. So be prepared. The kids are a hoot. I don't know who has more fun, me or them. But yeah, so those are most of our programs. Lego Club is huge. We had a great turnout last night. 24 children were there with their grown-ups. It was a great turnout. I even love how one child has requested an extra Lego club to be his name too. And I told him, I said, I only have so much time, my friend, but maybe in the summer I can then add Samir's Lego club. And he's like, okay. They are even bringing in their own home Lego creations because they want to share it with their friends. And it was great because there were some kids, it's a big hit for second grade especially. That seems to be about the average age of the attendees. And it was neat because there were some kids that weren't friends per se, but they kind of developed and made those connections. So I'm envisioning that they're definitely going to be coming for the next month. So everything that we hope to occur in a public library program. So I think that's everything.
When is Lego Club?
It is the third Tuesday of every month, 4:30. 4:30. We have amazing attendees.
Is the not Badger Talk with Colonial Club, has that event been made on Facebook, or are we still, that literally just happened today?
This is a
Or
today
it's just-
thing. I
okay.
have an
Nope,
email
that's fine.
in.
I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that we get it out and
Can
that we share it.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, after this meeting, can you please email Inga so I can get into the newsletter?
Oh, yes. Yes.
What day? Yeah, because does that go out tomorrow? So. And then,
Sorry, Inga.
well, this new, in the moment planning. Is it possible to get the page from the back of the mailer printed out too, so that people have the calendar for now through May too?
Yeah. Do you want it like
Because I know we have the calendar, like month of February, and then the month of March is coming out, but
Yeah.
can we maybe,
do we want it like on display? Is that what you're asking? Like where are you
Display
wanting
or
it? Do you want
I
that
don't-
to be what's being shared?
I don't know if that would be helpful for families to if they don't have theirs or they're coming
You
from
mean like as
elsewhere.
a physical handout that they can get at
Yeah.
programs, or as like?
Yeah, because I know that we have the calendars like at Tween Scene, so I wondered if
So I kept thinking at the beginning that would be the actual thing. People don't want paper.
Okay.
So I will print it out and put it on the bulletin board that's in Parks and Rec. I have seen more people take pictures of the
Sure.
flyers that are posted there. Or they're like, oh, I follow online, so I've seen it there type thing. But I can easily have some out as that is a longer relevancy than just like a monthly calendar, because I've totally minimized the quantity that I'm printing for that.
Okay. And then I had a lovely phone call with a resident this week who was interested in having more music. Obviously, that sounds like it's a little hard. Also, was very excited about the Legos, but there's that puzzle exchange that Parks does. Yes. And she was wondering if could be a book exchange that kind of mirrored that. And perhaps there was a theme associated with it, like you come with your romance novels and like have that kind of exchange. And I don't know. I was like, well, we have the little free libraries. And she's like, those are like in my neighborhood. Just don't do it for me. Or are there mostly kids' books or that kind of thing? But like, I don't know if it's a book swap.
Grown-up book swap
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
thing.
I love this idea. And whomever the community member is, I love your ideas.
Also, more library for men was the third thing, and how to engage the men of Cottage Grove more.
JP.
So we did
This is
have,
not my
we used to
forte.
have like meet in the Grove, the man meet.
Oh,
Like,
it's a
that's what
summer
we called
program.
it.
Nope,
Okay,
stop
we should
talking.
Say that. Okay.
Grilling in the Grove, not man meat. Grilling in the Grove is the words you're looking for.
What was it called?
Grilling in the Grove, I believe, is how it was phrased. Once again, grilling in the Grove, not man meat.
I know the Petersons who have done that in the past
Correct.
several years.
I believe it was Dave
They
Peterson
typically
offering
always
that up.
do it in the summer, just
Yes.
because
Or
that's
like
what
close
weather
to
allows.
Father's Day or
Yes.
something like that. Yes, and we have discussed previously some more typically male-focused activities or topics. We've tried to brainstorm like lunch and learn topics or badger talks that might appeal more widely than to just our romance reading women in Cottage Grove.
I'm trying with the Badger Talks.
No, it's-
the upcoming
right, it's-
Badger Talk is a Wisconsin 101.
Yep.
Pretty just appealing to all. So trying to take that approach for some of those programs. As for more male-specific programming, I'm gonna have to do some research for that.
She had mentioned like sports, maybe. I can't keep a straight face anymore.
Like what with sports?
I don't. That's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, this is as far as I can take it.
I did see, and I think, Cindy, you might have sent it to me. There was a
Oh, the braiding. I'm reaching out to the cosmetology
Yes, there was
school.
a cool thing, right, of like, or maybe, again, I know this is like a specific niche kind of thing, but like dads and their kids, which hits more of the male demographic that we are not always hitting as much. But I do think a lot of the family, I mean, again, I was pleasantly surprised when I was at Storytime by the variety of caregivers that were there, including some grandpas and some other, I mean,
I don't typically go through and I try to make it like I don't think of a gender. I'm not assigning any sort of with any program. Everything is completely open. Heavens, with Distillery, we've started to garner some men that are attending for that as well. So everything is open to everyone for all library programs.
was
But
the
but
feedback
some
that she gave me.
topic-wise that
Yeah.
might be more appealing, I will totally look into. And I'm stealing the book swap idea.
Yes. I thought, yeah.
So yes. Okay. Any other amazing ideas? Okay.
So related to programming, and I don't know if we announced this in the last board meeting. I'm looking at you, Cindy. But an update for this group is we as in Cindy was awarded the, I forgot the exact name of it. It's-
International Brain Research Organization Brain Awareness Grant. So right now there are 11 community partners that are kind of sponsoring the event. This occurs in March, so there's a week. I know I celebrate it every year, but I know a lot of people don't. So we have 4 events. We've kind of spaced them out a little bit. So we'll do Brains at the Bookmobile. The tween scene will be kind of a mindfulness, the idea is like mindful minds, community connection over tween, teen, mental health. So learning about your brain, learning how to, deal with the stresses and do some mindfulness work. And then bringing in a professor to talk about healthy media use in schools and the community, working off what the Cottage Grove School and Family and Schools, PTO, you think I would know the name by now.
CGSFO.
The CGSFO, Schools and Family Organization. What they did in the fall for younger elementary school, this is more targeted towards teens. and their caregivers. So both coming at the same time and listening to the conversation. And then we have Principal Emily Foster has a building reading stamina in the age of instant gratification talk, which will be right before one of the PTO meetings, but she's going to plan on doing that for us. And then we, with this grant, are going to kind of do mirroring the community read, but this is the anxious generation and the amazing generation. So a graphic novel plus every parent should be reading the anxious generation or a book like that. And so pairing, getting copies of those and having those available in March to kind of kick off this whole themed, grant sponsored programming.
So I just want to say I'm really excited. Cindy's put in a lot of work to make this happen in terms of bringing in so many community sponsors and connections. Just in the terms of the programming, she listed off 4 different individuals for every single one that will be there. So this is going to be a truly collaborative community weekish of programs. So I'm really excited for where this is going. And especially how it kind of builds off of what our hope was with the grants, is built off of what CGSFO kind of did with the event about technology with kids that had over 100 people there, if I recall correctly. So it allows us to kind of continue that conversation that a lot of us heard was still very needed here. So we can kind of build that on and then provide additional resources for them. So I am really excited for this.
Yeah. And the Friends donated to the book buy. So we had a donation from them. The police department's on board, the school district, both PTOs. Is it NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Health, is helping facilitate the mindfulness.
Do we have marketing beyond Cottage Grove planned, like press release? Do we want to?
I'm just finishing up some of the details right now, but
I feel
this
like
is
that
as far
would be probably a good thing that would get picked up and other communities might be able to benefit from as well.
maybe you can
I can,
help.
yes, I can write a press release.
Okay, awesome.
And distribute it.
No, that's a great idea.
Great. Anything else for programming? Hearing none, we can continue on to our next item on the agenda under communication and miscellaneous business is consider approval of vouchers. And there are 2 documents listed, operating expenses for January and February. Well, operating and bills for January and February, which are also linked in the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the February and January bills list.
I'll second.
Motion by Megan, second by Cindy. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motions carry. Okay, moving on down. No committee reports. Next is Cindy. Anything from the village board updates?
I don't
Shaking
think
her
so.
head. None. Okay. So for my correspondence updates in there, one big thing I just want to highlight here is the Village View. Recently came out. That was mostly done by Parks and Rec, but it's a collaboration with the village. So that was literally released today. And the library board has 3-4 pages in that where we used a lot of our mailer type formats in there. So just want to highlight that Happen is out there and has a ton of great resources, and just encourage folks in the village to check that out because it's more than just Parks and Rec. It's more than just us. It's pretty much every single department in the village has something in there. So it's a great resource, and you can find it for sure on social media. Also, there was a news release that went out, and other places as well. Other than that, all the other kind of updates I've had have been covered in other agenda items.
I do have a Friends report.
All right.
So the Friends met yesterday for their annual meeting, and went over their financials, and the obviously have pared down since last year, but will continue. They've submitted several grants, and their hope is to continuing to help support us. They purchased the books for the community read, and then the Jumpstart to Summer Reading will be one of their priorities. Sustainability, Earth Day supplies. They, like I mentioned before, they provided support to purchase the books for the Brain Month. And then looking forward to the community read for next year. I asked for feedback on kind of the timing of the year, and they thought that the winter, kind of February, like really felt good versus a very busy fall and trying to fit something in. So they thought that was a really good move, Monica. So that's all the Friends have.
Perfect. Thanks, Cindy. So, do we have any other, or I guess moving on, unless folks have any other discussion thoughts? Nope. Okay. Any other announcements / future meeting topics? Okay. Hearing none, then
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion by Cindy, second by Lisa, and non-debatable. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, everyone.